Have you ever heard the parable of the prodigal son or the story of the lost sheep? I'm almost certain you have. But let me ask you something. What if you've misunderstood them your entire life? Stay with me, because in this video we're going to uncover 5 of the most misinterpreted parables in the Bible. And I promise you, once you hear what Jesus actually meant, you'll never read them the same way again. And hey, before we dive in, if this kind of deep Bible study excites you, hit that like button so more people can discover this teaching. Ready? Let's go. We begin with a short but puzzling story, The Friend at Midnight. Picture this. A man receives an unexpected guest late at night. In his culture, hospitality wasn't optional, it was everything. With nothing to serve, he runs to his neighbor's house at midnight, begging for bread. The neighbor, already in bed with his kids, refuses at first, but eventually he gets up and helps. Now pause. How have you always heard this parable explained? Probably like this. Keep praying, keep knocking, keep asking until God finally gives in. Right? But here's the twist. That's not what Jesus was saying at all. The Greek word anaidia, often translated as persistence, actually means shamelessness, the refusal to lose honor in front of others. The neighbor helps, not because of nagging, but because refusing would shame him before the community. So think about it. If even a reluctant man helps out of social pressure, how much more will God, who is loving and generous, respond with compassion? Jesus isn't telling us to badger God. He's saying, pray with confidence, because your Father delights in giving. Next, let's tackle one of the strangest parables, one that has confused Christians for centuries. The dishonest manager. A wealthy man discovers his manager has been wasting resources. He announces he's about to be fired. The manager panics. Before losing his position, he calls in the master's debtors and reduces their bills. Surprisingly, the master praises him. Wait, did Jesus applaud corruption? Is he saying we should cheat? That's what many people think, but here's what's really going on. In those days, managers often added hidden commissions to debts, pocketing the difference. So when the steward slashed the bills, he wasn't robbing his master. He was cutting his own profit. He gave up short-term gain to win long-term security. And that's the lesson. Jesus isn't celebrating dishonesty. He's highlighting foresight. The man used present resources with the future in mind. And Jesus asks, if the children of this world can be so strategic, why aren't the children of light? Let me make it practical. How are you using your money, time, and influence? Are you investing in temporary things or in what lasts forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear where these challenges you. Now, buckle up, because the next parable is one of the most haunting, the rich man and Lazarus. One person feasts in luxury every day. The other, Lazarus, lies at his gate, covered in sores, begging for crumbs. Both die. Angels carry Lazarus to paradise. The rich man wakes up in torment, begging for relief, but a great chasm separates them. Impossible to cross. Here's where people often shrug it off. Oh, it's just a parable. Don't take it literally. But that misses the point. Jesus names Lazarus, something he does in no other parable. Many scholars believe this hints at a deeper reality. And the context? Just before telling this story, Jesus said, "You cannot serve both God and money." The Pharisees who loved money sneered at him. So Jesus told this parable. The rich man embodies religious hypocrisy, outwardly holy, inwardly enslaved to greed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Jesus isn't telling a bedtime story. He's issuing a warning. Hell is real, conscious, and irreversible. And loving wealth more than God blinds us to compassion, just like the rich man who ignored Lazarus. So let me ask, what's your relationship with money? Is it a tool in God's hands or a master over your life? The fourth parable looks sweet on the surface, the lost sheep. A shepherd leaves 99 sheep in the wilderness to rescue one. He finds it, carries it home, and calls everyone to celebrate. Beautiful, right? But here's what most people miss. In that culture, losing a sheep was shameful. Searching alone was dangerous. Carrying a paralyzed, terrified animal on your shoulders was humiliating. And yet, that's exactly what this shepherd does. Why? Because God's joy in rescuing one lost soul outweighs any sense of human honor. But here's the twist. Jesus says there is more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who don't think they need to repent. Those 99, they represent the Pharisees, self-righteous, confident they were fine, but actually blind to their lostness. The cutting edge of this parable is this. The most dangerous kind of lostness is thinking you're not lost. Take a second and let that sink in. Could it be that some of us sitting comfortably in church are actually the 99, blind to our own need for grace? And now we reach the climax, the most famous parable of all, the prodigal son, or should I say, the parable of the two lost sons. We know the first part. The younger son insults his father by demanding his inheritance early. He runs off, squanders it in wild living, and ends up destitute. He comes back, rehearsing a speech, hoping to be a servant. But his father runs to him, embraces him, and throws a feast. That's usually where the sermon ends. God forgives, no matter how far you've gone. And that's true, but it's only half the story. Enter the older son. He refuses to join the party. He sulks outside, accusing his father of favoritism, exposing his bitterness. And once again, the father does something shocking. He leaves the celebration to plead with him. Do you see it? Both sons are lost. One in open rebellion, the other in cold self-righteousness. One ran far away, the other stayed close, but never knew his father's heart. And here's the genius of the parable. We don't know if the older brother ever goes in. Jesus leaves it hanging. Why? Because the question is for us. Will you enter the Father's feast? Or will you stand outside, clinging to pride, trying to earn what can only be received as a gift? So let's recap quickly. The friend at midnight teaches us to pray with confidence, not fear. The dishonest manager urges us to use temporary resources for eternal purposes. The rich man and Lazarus warn us of the danger of loving money more than God. The lost sheep reminds us that the greatest blindness is not knowing we're lost. And the prodigal son reveals that both rebels and the self-righteous need the Father's grace. Now it's your turn. Which of these parables did you misunderstand before today? And which one confronted you the most? Tell me in the comments. I'll be reading everyone. If you want to go deeper, I've prepared a special bonus lesson on how to interpret any parable of Jesus, plus a complete study of every book in the Bible. The link is in the description. And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe and watch the next video that just appeared on your screen. I'll see you there.